Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Mules, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. Is the weather getting better over in Barovia?
Yeah, a little chilly, but it's a little better. Yeah, it's not too bad.
So it's all right. That is good to hear. So then let's head into our game news, where the Saga Exploit Discipline Information.
Yes, this is actually the first time they've actually come out and talked about punishments for an exploit.
Ooh.
But there was a pretty bad exploit that they have now fixed, but they are taking actions upon people that have done said exploit. And Cordovan posted over on the forums, we are in the process of engaging in targeted disciplinary action against characters and accounts that engaged in a recent exploit that allowed them to complete sagas and get the rewards repeatedly without rerunning the saga.
Yeah, it sounds like an exploit.
Players who did engage in the activity will see one of several things happen to their accounts. We will be issuing temporary game bans, and in some cases, we'll be removing the benefit they gained through the exploit. And for the most repeat or malicious offenders, we will be removing the characters that took frequent advantage of this exploit, in addition to a more restrictive ban. So yes, they are going to remove the character. Not just the items, the character itself.
And if that's a 20 lifer.
So, moral of the story, don't exploit. And second part of the moral is, don't go on the forums and complain when you get banned.
People were doing that?
Oh, yeah. I can't log in. It says I'm banned. What's going on? I only did it one time. Well, too bad. Oh, people.
Oh.
Don't cheat. Just play the game like the rest of us. See, this is why we can't ever have nice things.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's what happens. Someone goes around and finds a loophole, takes advantage of it.
Yep.
Very well. Then let's talk about something more upbeat, and that is Lamania for update 38 is coming next week, and is the definition of next week. Oh, okay, that was posted on Saturday?
Yes. Coco Majobo posted over in the forums that the first preview of update 38 will be expected to be open the afternoon of Tuesday, March the 13th, into the evening of Thursday, March the 15th. So basically March 13th, March 14th, and 15th. You will have advantage of Lamania to check out the new build, and he does say that the first preview is currently planned to showcase the system changes expected in U38, and that is most notably the Druid Pass and the Renegade Mastermaker Artificer Enhancement Tree. And then they do have a second preview plan for U38, and that is expected to feature a second pass of the class systems, and also the first preview of the new adventure pack and the associated named loot from said adventure pack.
All right, so so next week we will get a Lamania update, but it will not include the new adventure content.
Correct. It's only going to have the Druid Pass and the Artificer Renegade Mastermaker. That is all good. That's all going to be in the first pass. And then second preview will be coming at a later date. They haven't announced when that'll be. That will include changes to the Druid and the Mastermaker, and also the first look at the new adventure quest and loot. Sweet, sweet loot.
Sweet. Then let's head into the DDO Chronicle, issue 273, and that's a strange-looking statue.
That is from Ravenloft, Amber Temple is where that's from. Pretty sure that's where, almost positive that's where that's from. It's that big statue that's in the middle that you can jump up in and turn all the gears. You can pull the levers.
Oh, is that what the levers are for?
Yep. But I don't exactly know what the levers do.
Oh.
I haven't quite figured that much out yet, but apparently they do something. But that's the statue, in case you've never pulled back your screen and looked at it. It's a pretty
I've never looked at it from that perspective.
Yes. In the community spotlight of our Chronicle, happy 12th anniversary, DDO.
Da, 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 da.
You can click over into the forums and give your thoughts about 12 years of DDO. Speaking of that 12-year anniversary, Massively OP celebrated by doing a live stream. So click over and watch the live stream that Massively OP did to celebrate 12 years of DDO. And the official DDO stream has a brand new show. It's called Inside the Magic Circle with Toniston in every Wednesday evening. You can click over and check that out, and also go over to his Twitch page and give him a subscribe so you can find out when he goes live on his personal stream. But he's also streaming on DDO Stream every Wednesday night. It just amazes me the amount of people that are streaming DDO now. It's awesome to see how many people are streaming these days on and off the official stream. Did I say what?
Did you say his name was Toniston? Because it looks to me like it's spelled Tone Station, and that's what I was wondering.
Okay.
Is it a weird...
I would say Toniston, but if you say Tone Station or Ton Station, okay. I probably screwed the name up. I apologize if you're listening. We'll go with Ton Station.
I suppose one of us has to listen to the stream in order to find out what it is.
Well, yeah, I was going to watch it on the replay of it, but I didn't watch it. So I will have to do that to find out how bad I butchered your name.
And we can see which of us got closer.
Exactly. We also, of course, have the Fanside News section. DDO Cast has created a strategy guide for the Curse of Strahd raid. So click over and watch that to find all about how to kill Strahd if you're so inclined. City is taking a dive into the Update 37 Patch 4 release notes. Click over to see his views on the patch notes. A very bad guild wears out their equipment in their latest video, and Mickey, of course, is running down her week of raiding. Tailwind discovers why the Pit of Despair gets its name. Click over and find out why. Because it sucks. That's why. Axel is discussing how to make YouTube DDO videos over on his channel. And McVegan Pants is celebrating her 1-year stream anniversary, and that happened yesterday, so never mind, but you can probably watch the replay of it.
Right. Now, is that 1-year anniversary doing DDO or for streaming in general?
Just her personal streaming in general.
Okay.
And also, Sip has the latest on his DDO shenanigans. Click over and read his new blog post. And Even Note says hello to the Kobolds in this week's Streamin' with Even. And, of course, we have our Chronicle comment, as we always do. This week, it's a pretty good question. What is your favorite DDO memory?
Favorite DDO memory? I really like to throw in some... You said it was an easy one?
It's your memory, so...
Yes, but sometimes you run to a couple of memory errors trying to access it.
Gotcha. So we've stumped you, apparently. I think we should write this day down on the calendar. This is the first. We've actually stumped Pineleaf. Pineleaf is speechless about something.
Speechless about something? I thought you were a master at creating that type of situation.
Well, usually I do pretty darn well at it. That's true, I guess. Well, since Pineleaf can't come up with anything, I know right off the top of my head what my favorite DDO memory is. And that is the time those wonderful damsels drag me into the Crucible and made me do the swimming maze in the Crucible, and then Lessa left me in the water.
Left you in the water.
Yeah, that was because I got lost because I had never done it before. I didn't know where I was going. And she's like, just come this way and then jump up. So I'm like, okay, so I'm swimming this way. Well, apparently I didn't go the way she went. And then she's like halfway like in another part of the dungeon. And she's like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm in the water. So yeah, that was, I think, my favorite memory / repress. I have shakes and chills about it at times when I remember being stuck in the water in the crucible. But
I would say in the slaver pits or the dungeon, finally getting revenge on that elf that had pestered me all those years ago.
yeah, because I do remember you saying something about that when we were running through that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't say the ballista from the Temple of Elemental Evil.
You said favorite.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, okay.
If you say we're Scar.
Well, that's my favorite memory of DDO of yours. Or involving you, say. And then we have our official screenshot of the week, and that is Sinza gets a look from Malusia in the 356th DDO screenshot of the week, and that is courtesy of Claver for sending in that screenshot. And that is it for our Chronicle this week.
Then let's see what is on sale during this anniversary.
We've got 25% off Tomes of Learning, select low-level adventures, +2 ability tomes, and character slots. Also, at 25% off, our free sample of the week is a Lesser Experience Elixir. You will get one of those when you use the coupon code XP-Elixir. That is the letter X, the letter P, ELIXIR. Now through March 8th.
Then let's off and see what's coming in from the dungeon, where Pathfinder is officially coming out to Roll20.
Yes, it is. Roll20 and Paizo did announce that it is officially going to be supported for both Pathfinder and Starfinder. You can pre-order the first adventure path right now, which is the Crownfall. And it is actually early preview to pro subscribers starting tomorrow, March the 6th. We are recording this on Monday the 5th. So Tuesday, March the 6th, if you are a Roll20 Pro subscriber, you can get a early preview look at this. And then it will be free for all subscribers starting on March 22nd. Thereafter, more Pathfinder will be on the way all throughout 2018 over on Roll20.
And now for a dice bag? A leather dice bag? I mean, you really need a leather dice bag?
You need a leather dice bag that stands up. See, it's self-standing. That's the important part of the equation.
So it's an upstanding dice bag.
I see what you did there. And this comes from the fine folks over at Easy Roller Dice Company. They decided, hey, we want to do a leather dice bag. So they put together a pretty sweet looking, in my opinion, dice bag. And of course, this is over on Kickstarter. And Easy Roller Dice says about it, we call this material Leather Light. And we're enhancing them by adding our originally created graphics. This is a similar material what is used to wrap the dice trays with, but in a rich brown color. These awesome dice bags are sure to be a hit at your gaming table. And they have also chosen a simple way to do the Kickstarter. There's just one pledge level, and that is at $19. So if you want 2 dice bags, you will just put 2 down, so you will get charged $19 times 2. It is simple as that. So it will be $38. That is, of course, is $19 for each dice bag, plus $7 shipping. So it's going to be a total of $45. Simple, easy pledge. I like that because a lot of the times Kickstarter pledges are confusing as all get out.
Oh, yes, I know that.
And then there is several graphics to choose from, and part of the stretch goals are more graphics. And as we record the show, they are 26 days to go. They have already funded, and it looks like they have actually unlocked one of the stretch goals, and they're getting close to another one. So you can head over that if you're looking for a dice bag upgrade. Check out the freestanding leather dice bags from Easy Roller Dice.
Very well. Then let's head off to what Flying Buffalo is doing with Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls. I've heard that they're planning on reprinting that.
They are. It went out of print quickly after the last print, and people were clamoring for a reprint. And Flying Buffalo is listening. It will be ready on March the 31st. You can get to the reprint of the Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls book. So if you're a TNT fan, your prayers have been answered. A reprint is on the way. Once again, look for that from Flying Buffalo on March the 31st.
Then let's see what's on the tabletop, where I've heard that you have a review for Awakening Lair.
Yes, I did actually get the review up finally. And of course, I kind of talked about it last week because I played it last week. This is the new game from Rather Dashing Games. Will be out March the 22nd is the street date on it. And I did get a early copy of it for review. And I gave my thoughts. It is a pretty simple yet complex dungeon crawler. You start out by building your dungeon. You have 12 cards. You lay the 12 doors out. That is actually your dungeon. And then you are going to take some monster cards and some mix them up. And that is, of course, going to be the bad guys you're going to fight in each of the rooms. And then you just go and try to get through the dungeon. And then at some point, usually near the end, you are going to get a Monster Awakens card, and that is going to wake up the monster in the 12th room, which, of course, is the boss monster. And then that's when things get really fun because every round, he moves down one room. And if there's any monsters in the room that he is with, those monsters move with him as well.
Oh,
and
fun.
you are trying to clear out all those monsters and defeat him before he gets to room number 1 and gets out of the dungeon. Like I said, very, very simple rules. It's pretty easy to pick up, but there's a lot of strategy in it, and it is hard as all get out.
All right. Now, I noticed that in the review, you have this laid out in a long line. Are there alternate ways you could lay that out so that you don't take up half a ton of table space trying to...
I guess you could if you wanted to. That's just the only way they tell you to lay it out. I don't really see why you couldn't if you just remembered which, like what was room 10, 9, 8, because you go in order when the monsters leave. And so if you could just remember which room was which, I guess you could lay it out alternately if you wanted to. But that's just the way that it's supposed to be laid out.
Okay.
Maybe I'll experiment with that and try to see if it would work that way. I mean, as it stands now, I can't see why it wouldn't work. Like I said, the biggest key would just be to remember which room was which. But the game is great. I like the game. It's great fun, but you just have to go into the game with the mindset you're going to lose and you're going to die. The game is set to kill you and for you to fail. That's the only way to get around it. There's different strategies you can use. There's like buffs and stuff you can get, but we played it twice and got it handed to us both times. So I don't know.
Maybe the people who've played a large number of times have found strategies that actually allows them to win.
Yeah, exactly. And I did talk to, when I was talking to the marketing person over at Rather Dashing Games about the review, she had said that the more you play, you do pick up other strategies, and you can win because she has been in groups where they have actually won. So it is possible to win, but it's not very easy to win.
Yeah, but of course, someone from Rather Dashing Games has probably played it more than the average person.
Well, that's very true. But yeah, so, I guess we'll see as I play it more if, I can actually win. But supposedly, yes, you can win. But it's, like I said, it's a fun, I had a blast, and my friends had a blast playing it. You do just have to go with the mindset, the game is out to get you. It is out to kill you. So it is literally you against the game, and you are trying to outthink the game.
So that means that the game is smarter than the average group.
Exactly. It's tough. It's hard. But as I said, Awakening Lair, a little fast, fun dungeon crawler, and that is upcoming from Rather Dashing Games. You can find that in your friendly local game store on March the 22nd. And if you pre-order it now at your FLGS, you can get some promo cards for it as well that are only available at your friendly local game store.
Then let's leave the lair for the moment and head into that really calm, peaceful town known as Gotham City.
That's right, the Batman Gotham City Chronicles Kickstarter, which went bazonkers after it went up.
Bazonkers.
Yeah, they made about $1 million in about 6 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that was a good day for Monolith there. Yeah.
$2.5 million now.
Yeah, I gotta say, and they're at about $2.5 million now. So yeah, I'm sorry. It took them 15 minutes to make $1 million. My bad. So yeah, this is the new miniatures board game that, of course, if you haven't guessed it, is themed around Batman. It is for 2 to 4 players, and you will take on the villains of Gotham in a cooperative campaign. The game is going to come in 2 core boxes, which will consist of heroes and, of course, villains. One box is a hero box, another box is a villain box.
All right. Now, my question then is, why is Catwoman with the heroes?
Because in the comic books, for a while, Catwoman was a hero.
She always does seem to be a little bit of schizophrenic.
Yep. There was a whole storyline for a while where she teamed up with Batman, and then she kind of went evil again, and then I think she's good again. Maybe I don't follow DC Comics that much. I'm more of a Marvel person, but yeah. It's one of those, it's a comic, we can do whatever we want type of things. So, yeah. But, yeah, as I said, this, funded in 15 minutes. So, yeah. And the other important thing about this game, if it sounds cool to you and you want it, you're going to have to jump on Kickstarter. This game is not going to be released in retail whatsoever. Monolith have chosen to do just Kickstarter for this. I'm sure, you can get it secondhand on eBay or whatever and pay, quadruple the amount of what the game is worth. But if you don't want to pay the exuberant secondhand market prices on eBay, just jump on the Kickstarter. $140 will get you the core game and all the unlock stretch goals.
Oh, and look, and 4 expansions. $55 for 2 of them and $35 for the other 2.
Not cheap, because it's like a ton of minis. That's why it's this is a very heavy miniature game. So I think most of the money they're charging and you're spending is for the miniatures. But yep, this Kickstarter is up and running now. 25 days to go as we record, and they are at 2.6 million right now and still climbing.
All right, and there's a separate expansion for versus mode. That I presume that this is a co-op then.
It is co-op, yes, fully co-op. You can only play it co-op
unless you buy the versus expansion.
Unless you buy the versus expansion, yes.
Okay.
So, which I'm assuming, I haven't actually looked at the rules. They have some of the rules available. I'm assuming since it's a fully co-op, you could probably play this solo.
Probably, but this looks like there is a ton of stuff here.
Oh, yeah, this game is very fiddly, it looks like.
Yeah, I've gotten tired of fiddly games.
Then you might want to stay clear of this one then, because this is all fiddly all the time.
Very well. So let's go to a nice, simple game like Stop Thief, which, of course, does not have a co-op mode.
Until now.
What?
Restoration Games has announced they have released a cooperative mode for Stop Thief. In the new mode, 2 to 4 players are going to work together to take down the Atlantic 7 before they make off with a pile of loot cooperative mode is going to offer an exciting new play style that many players enjoy, even more than the traditional competitive mode of Stop Thief. And the new mode uses all the components in the original game box, and it requires no new components. And the other cool thing about it is it's free. All you have to do is go over to Restoration Games site and download the single-page PDF of the cooperative rules. And I've linked that over on the article up on DDO Players. If you own Stop Thief and you want to check out competitive or co-op mode, check that PDF out. And the companion app has also been updated to include the new mode of play as well.
Oh, now this companion app, is this an optional companion app, or is this a required companion
It's a required companion app because it tells you will guess where the criminal is, and you also get your hints. If you pull a card to get a hint, you will get that from the companion app. And then it will actually move the villain around the map, and it keeps track of all that and your guesses if you're right or wrong.
Okay. Very well. And then let's go and see what's on the screen. And we will begin with Talisman Digital Edition, which the iPad version is now free. I presume that means just for the base game.
Yes, it is a new edition they're calling Talisman Digital Edition. And it used to be called Talisman Lite, but now they just renamed it Talisman Digital Edition, and they made it free. It used to be like really cheap. I forgot how it was like. I want to say like maybe 99 cents or like $1.99. It was like super cheap, but now it's really super cheap because it's free.
Ooh.
And just because it is free and it is called, used to be called the Lite Edition, it is not light on content. That includes the full base game with multiplayer cross-platform play, leaderboards, and the ability to transfer all your expansions purchases on other platforms into the iPad version as well.
All right. So therefore, this has been brought into line with the Steam version, which has been called for Talisman Digital Edition for a couple of years now.
Correct. And then also they announced that there is a new character out as well. It is the Samurai, and that is available on both Steam and on mobile platforms. And that is the Samurai.
The Samurai.
I guess that originally hit the tabletop version of Talisman back in 1986. The Samurai was included in Talisman. I'll admit, I've never played the tabletop version at all. I've only ever played like the Steam version.
Oh, I have played the second edition, the third edition, the original fourth, the revised fourth editions on the tabletop version.
Well, apparently you are the Talisman tabletop expert then, because like I said, I've never played it.
Okay.
So, can you remember playing the Samurai?
I don't remember actually the Samurai. Oh, yeah, I think I vaguely remember it existing, but I don't remember what the special abilities of the Samurai are. So, here's Samurai special abilities. You begin the game with a sword from the purchase deck. Okay, if you lose the sword, you take one from the purchase deck for free if you visit a castle. Okay. All right. At the start of battle, you may use Kyujutsu and discard one gold to roll one die and add the result to the attack score. You may only do this once per battle. All right.
Sounds good.
And whenever you are attacked by another character in battle, you may use Jujutsu to add your craft value to your attack score.
Makes perfect sense, being a samurai, I guess. Okay.
No archery skills?
Apparently, you're just jujitsu and sword.
Okay.
You're a special samurai, apparently.
It's one that doesn't know ranged weapons. Yeah, an unusual samurai.
Yeah, exactly.
Then let's head into another dungeon crawl. This is a one-deck dungeon, which is now available for early access on Steam.
That is right. Asmati Games and Handelbrea, I can remember remember how to pronounce their name. I say Handelabrea, but I don't know if that's right.
I've been going. I always guess I thought it was Handelabra or something like that, but
That could be it too. I don't know. Anyway, they brought the digital edition out. It's on Steam. It's in early access now. You can purchase it for $14.99. And a little spoiler for later on in the show. One of us has done that. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all we're going to say.
It's a teaser for later.
Then let's get into our week in gaming. And Drac, what have you been up to?
I actually did a lot of stuff this week. We, of course, played, and part of what I did kind of goes into what we did in gaming. So I will talk about what we did this week to mix things up a little bit, because you will find out why it involved pretty much what I did most of the week in DDO.
Good grief!
You can see why. Pine Leaf is looking ahead in the show notes. So we ran the anniversary party at level 13 and got to see, the changes they made. And that was fun. I like that dungeon. That's just a fun little
because you're the one who doesn't get killed.
True. Yeah, poor Pine Leaf. He got killed a lot in that dungeon. Because I'm just like running, killing things, and I'm like, dude, what killed you now? You're like, I don't know.
Boom.
And I think one of the devs like really did a number on you. I don't remember which one it was. Severlin, maybe? I don't know. There was just like one. It was almost like a one-shot.
Yeah, well, when the devs just...
Yeah, it was like crazy. So then after we did that, we finished out the Lord's March Plaza chain. So we did Siege Rigger. And at the end of that, I got a pretty sweet bow out of it. And then I noticed that, hey, you can upgrade this bow. And in one of the other quests, I don't remember which one it was, I got one of the, I guess I'll call him a crest. I don't know exactly what it is, but I got one of the crests that you needed to upgrade this bow. And then I noticed, okay, I need another weapon. I think it's a sword that drops out of one of the other quests at the end chest, and that is out of Framework. So I'm like, okay, I want to upgrade this bow, because the bow was nice on its own, but the upgraded bow at my level, like 13, 14, is a pretty good bow at that level. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I took my Shade Archive, and I had to run Diplomatic Immunity first, because I hadn't run any of the Lord's March quest yet. And after I ran that, then I could go into Framework. So I ended up going into Framework about 4 times with the Shade Archive. Item didn't drop that I needed.
Oh, you were... I hope you weren't surprised with that.
No, not at all. So then after that, I thought, okay, let me go into the Devil's Gambit, Grin and Bear It, and not get my drop there either, which I didn't. So, okay, fine. So then I brought my Warlock on. Same thing. Had to do Diplomatic Impunity. Then I could go into Framework. Ran Framework about 4 times. No drop. Nobody's shocked at this. So I grabbed my level 16 Rogue. Rinse, repeat. Diplomatic Impunity. Framework. No drop.
See a pattern.
Actually, I should rephrase that. I'm getting name drops, but not the one that I need. So I pretty much have everything that comes out of that quest at the end boss, but what I need. So I'm like, all right, one more shot. So I took my Ranger. 14 in there. Rinse, repeat again. Diplomatic Impunity, Framework, nada. So it still eludes me. So this week I will get my drop. I will.
You will get your drop.
I will.
Get my precious drop. Yeah.
Right. And then I can upgrade my stupid bow. But by that time, we'll probably be who knows what level, and it won't matter anymore.
Well, there is that little detail.
Such is my RNG luck. So, yeah. But on the plus side, I'm getting really good at running the quest. I can run it pretty quick now. And I kind of know my way around that city now fairly well, so I can pretty much shoot straight to the end fight. So I guess there's that.
Okay.
And then on Friday night, the Damsels invited me to come on their show as they were going to run Ravenloft. They neglected to tell me until almost showtime that, oh yeah, we're going to run this at Epic.
Oh, no. And what is the surprise in this?
There's no surprise. Really.
Okay.
Nobody knows. It is a well-known fact that damsels love to torture and kill me. It's just a thing. We all know it happens, and we all just move on with our life. So ran the intro quest, of course, Into the Mist. Then we did Death House, Fresh Breaker Dreams, and we did an Invitation to Dinner. And an Invitation to Dinner was craziness. We were in there almost 2 hours, close to. It was insane. And keep in mind, we're doing this on Epic. And I think the highest level we had was like 25. I think it was Saba that was 25. And everybody else is between like 22 and 24. And I was 22. And of course, keep in mind, the Epic version of that is at level 31. So we were way under level for that quest. But oh god, it was so fun. You can go over on the DDO stream Twitch page and see the video of that. Don't know if it's up on YouTube yet, but it may or may not be. But I know you can get over on the DDO stream Twitch page. I'll put a link in the show note for that if you want to watch it. But it was insane. I ended up, we started at 2 a.m. my time, of course. And we ended up finishing, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning by the time we were done. It was epically insane, but yeah, it was so much fun. And there was many deaths, and yes, and I died a lot, and I'm sure they took joy out of that.
I'm sure it made their day.
So my week, to sum it up, no drops and damsel torture.
And damsel torture.
That was my week. How about yours?
All right, then. Let us head into what I was doing with my ASMR. I first thought, all right, let's go into and retry the Temple of Elemental Evil, and of course go nowhere near that Gatling Ballista.
You and that Gatling Ballista, I'm telling you.
Yes. I get in there, and of course I go into the Harpy room as usual. I'll get started, fight the Harpies, and then suddenly I get these things, Dungeon Alert Green! Dungeon Alert Green! I said, what? And this undead boss that I don't think I've seen in a year pops up with an army of ghouls and just comes in and rips me to pieces.
Ooh, that's unlucky.
I was like, what? I forgot that boss existed.
I haven't ran Temple for a while, but it's been a while since I've seen that boss too.
Yes, I was like, okay, fine. Therefore, I thought, all right, let me go and do something a little bit easier. So I went to House Tarasco and ran Red Willow's Ruins and got through there without too many issues. Then in Minecraft, I posted my first 2 episodes of the current monthly challenge in there, where I was doing a great deal of climbing because all the minerals are at the top of the world instead of the bottom of the world. So you are going around climbing through this really, really extreme hills bio with towers going up to around 240 blocks high, and you have to get up there. And so therefore I get to an area, so, oh no, there's that area down there which is even higher. So now I'm trying to build a bridge all the way across there and just saying, okay, am I going to fall down? Am I going to fall down? Am I going to fall down? And finally get all the way up there. And I get all the way up there and says, oh, I'm going to be needing sand, aren't I? Anyway, so that's how that's going on. I've managed to survive the first 2 days. And also in the Wellstopia world, in my multiplayer world, I've made a few tweaks to my pearl tossing game that I'm making over there, trying to light it up and get it all nice and fenced in so that we wouldn't be too bothered with mobs. But of course, mobs have a way of finding their own way into places because you know how mobs are. Then on tabletop, I ran a round of Pandemic Legacy Season 2. I ran my March game, and this was a really, really close game. I mean, I was down to, all right, I pulled this infection card. If it's one of the cards that, it was some of the cities, if it was, then okay, I'm going to lose because of this game's equivalent to having an outbreak and losing by outbreaks. Or if it's not there, then I can fulfill the final victory condition on the next turn. And yeah, I guess after all that luck I had in February, of course, I was due for a little bad luck there. So yeah, so that happened.
So in Pandemic Legacy Season 2, are you running it like on the month, in the month?
That's what I am currently doing.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought because I remembered last month you talked about doing February.
Yes.
And then this month you did March. So I'm like, you must be just doing 1 month at a time in the current month. Gotcha.
Right. So I will be having a second game for March because if you lose the first game in a month, then you do play a second game. And if you lose the second game, then you proceed whether you won or lost.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, that is my first game in March where that was. So I will have a second game and hopefully do a little bit better there. And that's sort of the same way that Season 1 also followed that same pattern on through there. So hopefully I could do better on there. Now, the other game I ran, you should be able to guess it. Actually, this was, of course, on screen, the video version of it. And since Drac already hinted that one of us was playing One Deck Dungeon.
And it wasn't me.
And it wasn't Drac, so therefore my process of elimination, of course, was me. So I played a few rounds of that, playing the Rogue and the Warrior, trying them out, seeing if I could win. I have not yet won a game to it. Now, I've heard one player on the Geek who posted a video there, and he was constantly complaining that all he could roll are ones. Okay, yes, he did occasionally roll all ones in there, but he was even complaining about rolls, which I was looking at that as, what do you mean? That is one of the sweetest rolls I've ever seen in my life. I mean, 6, 5, 5. I mean, really?
People, what are you going to do?
So, therefore, I don't think it's necessarily unbalanced or anything. I have not taken any statistical analysis of the thing, but people do tend to remember their bad rolls and forget about the ones that are middling or good sometimes, unless they're having a lucky streak. So therefore, I think that was just that particular item. You remember what you want to remember.
Right, exactly. So what do you think of the conversion they did to the tabletop to a video game?
I think it's a pretty good conversion on that. Now, it's only in early access right now, so therefore they're only in the early stage. So far, all they've implemented are the basic 5 characters that come with the original game, the 5 dungeons that come with the original game. So therefore, you do have all five of each of those sets on there already. Solo mode only. The next major update is supposed to have the 2-player mode where you can have 2 heroes going in. But right now I have single hero mode only. Since that's the only way I've ever played it so far, obviously that's not going to be a major problem for me. So they have not yet implemented the campaign. I believe that's supposed to be in the second major update, at the one after the 2-player one, I think. They posted a schedule on what their plans are on getting the various updates on there, because the plan is to have everything that's in the box in there. So that includes the campaign mode, the 2-player mode, and also a couple of the bonus items that were in there. For example, there was a freebie character and freebie dungeon that were added by Asmati at one point, and those will also be added. So therefore, it's going to include everything that's in the tabletop version. It is holding faithful to that. I think their dice rolling style could be improved a little bit on the graphically, because sometimes it looks like you roll the die and the die goes blop. Of course, I see some players that seem to do that also, but
well, yeah.
So therefore, I think there could be a little bit more rolling action in it. But of course, I could see why you sometimes might not want to, because you might want it to be not take too much time or something like that. So perhaps maybe they could give you a selector so you can select how much rolling action you get in the dice. So if you want it really fast, you can minimize it. If you want to really see it as if you're rolling real dice down a dice tower, maybe up it up a little bit. But so far, I think it's a pretty good representation of it. I did not do any statistical analysis, as I said, on how good or bad the rolls are. But I remember I was using Daring Gamble a bit in there, and I think only twice in using Daring Gamble with the Rogue did I roll a 1. And I noticed the same thing with the person who was complaining about constantly rolling 1s. I can only remember 2 or 3 times where he actually rolled a 1 while doing Daring Gamble. And Daring Gamble is one where you lose time and take damage if you roll a 1 by rolling this extra black die. So therefore, I don't think the game's cheating to kill you or anything like this. But of course, the game mechanics, as usual, how the rules are, if you're not used to the game or anything like that, where it could very easily kill you. Because that's one deck dungeon.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, actually.
Okay, you have played it then.
Yes, several times.
We currently have 18 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And this week we have a featured comment from Muskie Elon via YouTube. And what did he say?
He says, this was on our last episode, Muskie says, 12 years and the game just keeps getting better. Now, if I only had some cosmetic storage.
You mean similar to what we have in Lotro?
Amen. We need that so bad in DDO. I don't understand why they don't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they can make a little bit of money in the DDO store for that. If you'd like to email us, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com, and you can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineath @Pineath Needles. The Players Alliance has 4 shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lojo Players News. Every other Thursday at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. And on the first Tuesday of each month at 9:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Chromatopits. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineath Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.